الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا ثم أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Do you guys know which chapter of the Quran, which surah of the Quran the Imam was reciting tonight? Which surah is that? Aal-e-Imran. And which chapter is that? What's the number of the surah? That's the third chapter of the Quran. The third chapter of the Quran. Last night we spoke about listening to the Imam, what he's reciting, what he's saying. Even if you don't understand the Arabic language, if you had no exposure to the Arabic language, you still can glean the meaning from here and there when you identify keywords in the recitation. So now, knowing that it's chapter 3 of the Quran, Surah Aal-e-Imran, the family of Imran. Number 2, perhaps you've heard few keywords here and there that would help you identify the theme. So within the 8 rak'ah, the recitation right now we listen to in the salah, the prayers, what can you think? What will be the main theme of the recitation? What was it, Jama'ah? I heard Bani Israel. What else? So let's do that together. You heard specific names. We heard specific names in the recitation. We heard Bani Israel, the children of Israel. What else we heard? Maryam, Mary, the mother of Isa, right? Who else? We also heard Zachariah, Prophet Zachariah and his son, Yahya, John. They call him John the Baptist in Christianity. Also we heard the name Isa. That's Jesus, Isa alayhi salam. What else? Ibrahim, Prophet Abraham, Ibrahim alayhi salam. Who else did we hear about? Well, I don't know about Adam in the recitation. Yeah, we heard Adam one time, Nuh alayhi salam. So we heard these names now. When you put all these names together, Isa alayhi salam, his mother, her mother, Aal-e-Imran, the family of Imran, which is basically the religious elite in Judaism at the time of the birth of Isa alayhi salam. So the whole theme would be what? Christianity. The whole theme of the surah, of this chapter of the Quran, is actually Christianity, which means this could be the best introduction to you as Muslims. This is the best introduction you could use to have a conversation with your co-workers, with your friends, with those who are true Christians. This is the best actually introduction to them. If you check the surah, the chapter, it has a story behind it. It has a story behind it. The story, why this chapter in particular, why this surah in particular speaks about Christianity? Because it came as a response to a dialogue the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself he had with a Christian delegation that came from modern day Yemen. A delegation from the Christians of Yemen back then during his lifetime, they came visiting because they heard about him. You know, he became the Prophet, so he sent some of his envoys to Yemen, invite him to Islam. And out of curiosity, they wanted to know who this person is. Because Christians, they believe that there's a return for Isa alayhi salam, and there will be another prophet to come afterwards. So they believe that there's a prophet coming down. Could that be the man? So they sent a delegation from south of Arabian Peninsula to meet with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam back then, they didn't have fancy hotels like Sheraton and the Hilton and all these names. So they host him in the masjid, which is the prayer hall. They spent few days there in the back of the masjid, living there. And as they were living there, they were observing what these people were doing. What the Muslims, how do they pray? What do they say? And because the medium of conversation with them was the Arabic language, they were able to listen and understand the Quran because it's in their language. It was the Arabic language. So the surah came down to explain many of the themes and the topics of that dialogue. Last night, the Imam finished reciting the beginning of this chapter. Alif Lam Mim. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. نزل عليك الكتاب بالحق مصدقا لما بين يديه وأنزل التوراة والإنجيل من قبل هدى للناس. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in this, the beginning of the chapter, that it is He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the self-sufficient, self-sustenant, the eternal, Allah Azza wa Jal, Al-Hayyul Qayyum. He mentioned, نزل عليك الكتاب بالحق. He revealed to you, O Muhammad, He revealed to you this book, Al-Kitab, the Quran, بالحق. And then he mentioned that before this book, he also revealed other books, and he mentioned in particular At-Torah wal-Injil, the Torah of Musa, Moses, and the Torah and the Injil of Isa, Jesus. As Muslims, we believe in the original revelation that was sent down to Musa alayhi salam. Prophet Moses, he received the Torah. We believe in that original one. We also believe in the original Injil that was sent to Isa alayhi salam. Because Allah said He revealed them with the truth. But that truth, unfortunately, got lost with the translations and the history of Christianity, Judaism, and how the books, unfortunately, were lost and they were translated, were collected and compiled. So as Muslims, we believe in the original revelation that was sent to Musa alayhi salam and was sent to Isa alayhi salam. The Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, came down as a sequel of all these revelations. As Muslims, you need to understand that. That the Quran is not unique in a sense that there was nothing before. No, it came as continuation to this revelation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down. And that's why you will find a lot of common things in the Quran and the Injil and the Torah. Even today's Bible, which is eventually also in English, for example, the translation which is in English, even modern day Bible, actually there are still traces of the original revelations of Isa alayhi salam and also Musa alayhi salam. There are some traces of the original revelation from the past. Now, perhaps many Christians there around you might not know that because they never had that exposure to the Quran. And unfortunately, many of them, they've been taught not to even try to read any other book. So just have faith. Believe in this book that you have, believe in your religion, and just have faith in God. So if we present them with the Quran, they would say, thank you very much, I'm not interested. Why? Give it a try and check it out. Last weekend when I was flying back from DC here to Dallas, a lady sat next to me, an old actually lady, she was a retired nurse. So we started the conversation and somehow she asked me, are you a Jew? I said, no, I'm a Muslim. So eventually we started a conversation about Islam. She started asking these questions. And subhanAllah, she was a very, very religious woman. She was very religious, very conservative lady. And she was very respectful. And when I started sharing with her what we believe in as Muslims, she got very excited and surprised that Muslims believe in all these things. Like we believe in the codes of morality, akhlaq and manners. We believe in Jesus, we believe in the original revelations, we believe in the presence of one God subhanahu wa ta'ala. She was surprised. She was happy to understand the concept of hijab. I said, this is in the Bible, it's in your own words. I mean, I said to her, with all due respect, you're not wearing like Mary, the mother of Isa alayhi salam, who's supposed to be your role model. She was very excited to know that they have all these commonalities. And you shall see in this chapter, Surah Aal-e-Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that. Part of the recitation the Imam said, and he mentioned in the recitation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ تَعَالَوْا إِلَى كَلِمَةٍ سَوَاءٍ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمْ. We've been commanded to start dialogue and conversation with them. قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ. All people of the book, come. Let's come together. And let's talk about common ground. Which means let's start with the commonalities. Like what? أَلَّا نَعْبُدَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. That we worship none but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That one God and only one God. So we were commanded to start that dialogue. Let's see what are these commonalities and things that we share together. In the same chapter, the same recitation of tonight, Al-Imam Hafidhahullah ta'ala, he recited the beginning of the story of Christianity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَى آدَمَ وَنُوحًا وَآلَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَآلَ عِمْرَانَ عَلَى الْعَالَمِينَ. Allah Azza wa Jalla, immediately he mentioned that among all his creation, Allah has selected few lines of the creation of mankind. The first was the beginning of this human race, Adam. He selected Adam, and then he selected from the children of Adam, he selected who? Prophet Noah. And then he said, وَآلَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ. The family of Ibrahim, Abraham, Isaac and Ismail. And then from that line, and particularly the line of Ismail, of the line of Isaac, Ishaq, he mentioned who? وَآلَ-Imran. Aal-e-Imran, the family of Imran, is from the line of the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Bani Israel, the children of Israel. That came actually one line. And in the English resources, they have actually different names for them, but they are considered the religious elite that were serving in the temples. Imran, or in this case was the father of Maryam. He was at that time in charge of the religious elite. His wife, she got pregnant. And she was very excited that she wanted to devote that child to serve in the temple, like his ancestors. They all served for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So she said, قالت ربي إني نذرت لك ما في بطني محررا. My Lord, I'm offering this child, means the child that she was bearing and she was carrying, for you, muharrara, which means I'm going to devote this child for the service of the temple. فلما وضعتها قالت ربي إني وضعتها أنثى. When she delivered the baby was what? Female. It was a girl. And she kind of felt maybe a little bit disappointed, but she said, قالت ربي إني وضعتها أنثى. You know, I delivered a girl. I know that to have someone to serve in the temple, there has to be a man, a boy, but I delivered a girl. قالت ربي إني وضعتها أنثى. I delivered a girl, and Allah says afterwards, وَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا وَضَعَتْ, and Allah knows exactly what she delivered. Why is that? Because He made it so. He made it so to be a female, not a boy. Now the question is why? She said, وَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا وَضَعَتْ وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى. She said, I know the female is not like the male in that regard. She's not going to be the same. But Allah had a reason why He gave her a girl, He didn't give her a boy. Why is that? Can you guys guess? Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answer the call of the mother of Maryam, by giving her a girl instead of giving her a boy that she asked for? Why do you think He gave her a girl? Huh? So she could carry Isa, but what is so special about it? You know, our ulama on the commentary of the Quran, they say, the mother of Mary, she asked for a special child, special boy to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Azza wa Jal answered her call. How? However, He told her, basically the message that she got is that in order to carry that special boy, you have to be a special mother. You have to be a special woman. So He gave her that special woman who will carry that special child. And that's why she said, قالت وإني سميتها مريم. I'm calling her Maryam. This is her name. وإني أعيدها بك وذريتها من الشيطان الرجيم. And I seek refuge with you or in you for her and for her offspring until the end of time. So she asked, Ya Rab, protect her and protect her child. And Allah answered her call. You know, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that there's no child who was born in this world, but the shaitan came to pinch him. The shaitan, the devil, came to pinch him, like saying he's another one. Another challenge in this world from the children of Adam, except for two. Mary and her son, Isa alayhi salam. Because she asked Allah to protect them and Allah answered her call. And that's an amazing thing. Many Christians don't even know that. They don't even perhaps believe in that thing. But we believe in this. We believe that Maryam, she got pregnant when she was now at the age of bearing actually children. She got pregnant in a miraculous way when she had that meeting with the angel Jibreel alayhi salam. And they had that conversation. She said, you know what, you're going to be carrying a child. She was surprised and shocked. How come? How come can I carry a baby or a child when no man ever touched me? So this is going to be the miracle, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to make him a sign and a miracle to the world. So she carried that baby. And she delivered that baby in a miraculous way. There are so many, by the way, denominations in Christianity that don't believe in that miraculous birth. As Muslims, we believe in that he was born without the need of a father. But when he was born, he wasn't the son of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's not the son of God. He's the miracle of God. He was just a miracle. He's just like Adam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the surah, says, إِنَّ مَثَلَ عِيسَى عِنْدَ اللَّهِ كَمَثَلِ آدَمَ خَلَقَهُ مِنْ تُرَابٍ ثُمَّ قَالَ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونُ. He created Adam of what? Out of dirt. Dirt. At least Isa, Prophet Isa alayhi salam, or Jesus, he had a mother. And here's Adam, had no mother, no father. Nothing. Came from the original material. And then he said, Kun fayakun. By the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be, and he was there. Same thing happened to Isa. Be, and he was there. So that's a miracle. It doesn't make him the son of God. It makes him one of the special gifts of God to mankind, to the world. One of the greatest messengers of Allah. As Muslims, we believe in that. If you continue reading the chapter, Surah Aal-e-Imran, you see later on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started a conversation with them, with the Christians. Ya Ahl al-Kitab. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking all people of the book, come, let's talk about this issue. And then he mentioned that Isa alayhi salam, he came from Ibrahim, Prophet Abraham. He's from the line of Prophet Abraham. And Ibrahim, he wasn't a Christian, he wasn't a Jew, which means he didn't believe in any special race to have that preference with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, he didn't believe in that. He didn't believe that Allah has a son that he needs to worship and he became Lord after. He didn't believe in that. Ibrahim was monotheistic 100%. If you check the surah, you'll find a lot of these discussions that the Prophet ﷺ had with that Christian delegation that came from Yemen to meet with him ﷺ. You could use the exact same discussion with the people of the book. You can use that with your friends, and there's so many we can talk about this. But the last thing I want to mention here is that when it comes to Christians and Jewish people and people of the book, as we call them, and as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling them, you know, it is so unique that living around in this society, you see people of all kinds and all colors and in different, denominations and so forth. But does it mean that every Muslim is considered a good person? Not necessarily. Same thing, is every non-Muslim is considered like, he's an evil guy or bad guy? Absolutely not. They're like everybody else. They have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Same thing like the Muslims, they have the good and the bad and the ugly. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding us to be just and fair with everybody. To be just and fair with everybody. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ مَنْ إِنْ تَأْمَنْهُ بِقِنْطَارٍ لَا يُؤَدِّهِ إِلَيْكَ. Sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that some of the people of the book, if you trust them with a treasure, they'll give it to you. They'll give it back to you, which means they're trustworthy people. There are people like that. They're very trustworthy people. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ إِنْ تَأْمَنْهُ بِدِينَارٍ لَا يُؤَدِّهِ إِلَيْكَ إِلَّا مَا دُمْتَ عَلَيْهِ قَائِمًا. And some of them, if you give them $1 dinar, like give them $1, my God, you will you'll die before even you get it back from them. So Allah is telling you that you have both in this culture, and among those people you have the good and the bad and everybody else. When you discuss and deal with them, always deal with them in fair and justice. And the ayat that the Imam is going to recite now, inshallah ta'ala, is continuation of the story and the relationship between Muslims and the Christians. And the first, perhaps maybe we're going to, the first rak'ah that you will hear about is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about them that min Ahl al-Kitab, among those of the people of the book, who actually laysu sawa, they're not all equal. Some of them, they're very spiritual, they're very, very religious, and they're only looking for the truth. All what they need is just access. They need access to this truth. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that they are very devoted people. They're devotees. They just need access to teach them the sequel of this message that they got from before. And inshallah they can find this in the Quran, particularly in chapter 3, Surah Aal-e-Imran. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.